Hey guys, JusJarBo here. You know that everyone's having every summer. But for me, well, it's just beginning. Because we've been feeling about 10 letters today, so yay! Hopefully no craps happens. This is also my first non-tastic video where I'm using my avatar, so this is cool. Anyway, Universal 7 Universe just opened 2 months ago, and I am pretty excited. I can't wait to meet Toothless and Vikings, still catching up with the Dragons TV shows, however. Play in Super Nintendo World, meet Yu-Gi-Oh! And raid the village of Darkmoor, and for a minute to your mess, well, I don't know. But for Celestial Park, other than the fact that I can't wait to ride this generation of stealing dragons, it's not complete. Well, at least me, that is. That's because the true and original human spirit and entertainment plan here is absent. And it's been already replaced with stuff which, well, doesn't contribute much to the park. How did this all happen, and what did the constructs originally intend to be? Well, I'll tell you. But before I tell you that, let's dive into something interesting. Celestial Park had these characters, the Celestians. The Celestians are the inhabitants of the park who harness cosmic energy to power the Chronos, a mysterious machine that activates the portals to underworlds. Their mystical connection with the cosmos can allow them to capture comets and ride on them, but that was the pastime. The Celestians have worked with the legendary explorer, Various, to invent the portals to other worlds, and even the constellation Carousel to power up the park. They even brought to light the most popular chocolate bear, Captain Cacao, and he became Maya, the sky's navigator, to wander through the cosmos and find exotic species to share with the travelers of Celestial Park. During the time the Epic Universe was in construction, many trademarks for Epic Universe's projects were trademarked, especially some ones that were renounced that could potentially be for the park. These ones were So Many Stories, the Traveler Songs, and the Time Teller's Tales. These two could be the entertainment shows in Celestial Park. We didn't know much about these until back on March 11th, while unnamed. Information for these were told in the Discovers Universal podcast.
I think Celestial is cool because it's unique and new, right?
Yes.
And it's all its own thing. So we're bringing that storytelling into these characters. We're creating some lived-in Celestial type characters to meet and telling some of the stories of Celestial Park through that. So we have the Hemisphere stage is a wonderful venue within Celestial Park. On that stage, we have these travelers who have been through the portals and brought back with them the sights and sounds of those portals. And they've come together to sort of kind of create a musical moment using those sights and talking about what they've seen and experienced and seeing how dragons fly and seeing, monsters and,
That's
I like
awesome.
That. It's a good
really
teaser
cool.
for the worlds that everybody's about to get into as well, which is unique.
Yeah, and I think it ties back to the story of Celestial Park, right? Why are these portals there? Today's the day the portals have opened and, the Chronos is in alignment and alive with energy. And so we're keying off of that,
So basically, these shows involve travelers and other characters explaining the lore for Celestial Park, as well as the other worlds that they explored. The Time Teller's Tales involves a storytelling troupe of Celestians telling stories of comedy about how many places in the park came to be. Once I heard about these, Explorers and Various, and another word for Celestial, I felt excited, knowing that original theme park lore would make the experience feel more exciting. The shows happened during the early team member previews for Epic Universe, but no videos or shorts for these were recorded. I was excited nevertheless. Until, on March 31st, it was announced that Universal has scrapped Celestial Park's entertainment due to budget cuts. This includes the performance of the park, the shows for Hemisphere Stage, and probably the show for the Placid Owl. But budget cuts were just the reason. It was because of negative perception. Don't take it from me, take it from the early travelers. They said that they would cringe, and I felt shocked. Others said that the songs were poppy, Disney-ish, and over-explained the whole story. And the weirdest thing is that the songs for So Many Stories were inspired by the worlds. One example is that the show included, I kid you not, a rap based on Darkmoor! In other words, the songs for that show aren't even from the world. So now the entertainers got the boot. But during the day Epic Universe opened for annual pass holders, There finally came a band ready to entertain the travelers. But it's not what we were expecting, unfortunately. For a few months, Nora Productions and Events, a Florida-based entertainment group, played pop music that, well, didn't fit the vibe of the park. But it did play original arrangements, so that's nice. There had also been a roaming statue that had no explanation to why it's there, but it's kinda better than nothing. Nori's stay at Epic Universe had been from May to June, and were considered placeholders so Universal could have more time for the crew to rework the shows. Because entertainment is what could get people more excited other than missing rides. So that's nice. Back on May 19th, Universal introduced a new show for the Plastic Gala Bar, Blazing Guitars.
Well, I was working in the lab late one night, with my eyes beheld a weary sight, when my wonder flash began to rise. Suddenly, to my surprise, he did a monster mash. It was a graveyard smash. It got on in a flash. He did a monster mash.
It involves a duo as they play familiar songs, along with some songs based on Epic Universe attractions. They even encourage guests to join the fun, so that's cute. But unfortunately, the show didn't contribute to the lore of the park much. But luckily, on May 20th to the 21st, starting off with Solaris, the Celestians had come back to the park. But those were the only days. Most importantly, people had a little faith that the Celestians would stay long. After Nora's run, the original band finally returned after 6 months of rehearsal and workshopping, the Celestial Trio. But their style is the same as Nora's, as they still play pop songs. Oh well, their way of entertaining is still better than nothing. So what do I think of all this? I'm a little okay with them, but I'm also mixed and concerned. First of all, it's nice to have entertainment, but having them play pop songs instead is strange, and doesn't fit the vibe of the park perfectly. Second, I see the dueling guitars in Celestial Trio as generic entertainers and no fit to the story. But that does not mean I still hate them! The performances are still cool. Epic Universe has worlds of storytelling, from living with dragons at the Isle of Berk, confronting monsters at Dark Universe, protecting artifacts at Super Nintendo World, and, well, for the Ministry of Magic, I don't know, escaping the Ministry and discovering fantastical beasts? I'm sorry, I don't have much else for Harry Potter. But for Celestial Park, it really has potential to become a great original story-driven theme park with lots to discover. Without the Celestians and original entertainment with storytelling, the park would feel lifeless and nonsensical. I mean, look at Dark Universe. Yugo has been such a popular character there, alongside other monster characters, such as the Bride of Frankenstein, the Invisible Man, even, my personal favorites, the Hounds of the Burning Blade Tavern, and I'm so excited to meet them.
Release the hounds!
Dark Universe has the craziest storytelling with its Descendants of Frankenstein, Monster Hunters of Darkmoor, and even the Storytellers of the Village. I've been intrigued in original storytelling ever since I've known it's fun to support something unique. I think the reason why Celestial became unlucky with having his story brought to life is because just like DreamWorks' Ruby Gilman, Universal has no faith in originals! As of this time, that is. I believe that Universal has been pleased with Celestial Park's originality with the inclusion of uninspired songs for the shows, and probably some generic simple characters. But I mean, look at Captain Cacao. He's starting to become Universal's newest big face. He's their Figment, and even folks are asking for me and greet with him. I also want Mai to appear alongside him as well. I'd also love to meet Vincent Various, because it would be cool to see someone who's super kind and smart and wise. And unlikely, but what about some talking animal sidekick? He better be as good and faithful as... that was, I mean, better than Valentino. I don't know. Celestial Park's lore is the most overlooked thing in Epic's universe. With this cast of characters, I see potential in them going beyond the universe, like some comic books or TV shows on Peacock. Another reason for why Universal treats Celestial Park's entertainment badly is because of how not so well they played out. I believe that the show's entertainment must have been uninspired, and the comedy wasn't as fun as, well, some other parks? Like that Sinbad storytelling show at Islands of Adventure? I don't know.
Alright, normally, this is where we have an epic battle. However, us being a band of non-violent pirates, instead we're gonna have an epic dance battle. 5, 6, 7, 8. Let's shake it. And try to pose. Oh, very nice.
I've also known that the shows were lacking direction, and the audience engaged wasn't inspiring. So if I were in charge of being some sort of entertainment director, here's my take on the shows. For the hemisphere stage show, so many stories, I would let the show's songs be composed by people who are highly experienced at composing the songs that inspired the lands. Although not John Powell, I let Alan Lee Silva compose for some song based on the Yellow Burke, as he wrote the songs for the Untrainable Dragon show. Danny Elfman will compose for songs based on Darkmoor, along with Very Perfect, who composed for a musical that's based on the movie that Elfman worked on. Lee Silva could also write for the songs that's based on Super Nintendo World, as he arranged the songs for it. And lastly, John Williams and Imogen Heap, who worked on Harry Potter projects, could compose for many dramatic songs for the show. For the Time Teller's Tales, the show's interactive parts could be more engaging and calm. I don't see much problems for the show, so I can't say anything else. For the Plaster Down stage at the Yoken Star Tavern, I could still include doing guitars and play some original songs based on the lives of the Plastered Owl and her friends, as well as include some surprise bridges for the aforementioned characters as puppets. Kinda like the Boy at the Zoo experience at the Bronx Zoo or something.
The snake? Oh, no, that is not your favorite. Is the snake your favorite?
I bet / hope that Disney will do this sort of thing right with their Pirates of the Caribbean-inspired lounge, the Beacon Barrel Tavern, as it features the pirate and Dr. Parrot psychic Remy. He's just so cute! And honestly, the thing I've always wanted to see in the theme park. While I was working on the script, I've learned that there is some interesting lore for the Blue Dragon restaurant that involves Kai Ming, a traveler from China that travels all around the world on a star-powered scooter looking for treats to bring to this restaurant. She and her family also have a cheeky pet tiger, Pai Hu, which means white tiger, who loves to steal snacks. Perhaps Kai Ming and Pai Hu could be interactive characters there, along with Penelope Tubesome and Jax from the Chocolate Tubesome Emporium at Universal Silly Walk. I just love to meet Silly Tiger. I've also learned that it's not just entertainment that should support the lore, it's the rides. Take Stardust Races for example, because from what I've heard, a queue for the Stardust Races ride is lacking storytelling. It's just a generic common station inspired by a subway station. Isn't that special? I mean, how could Universal Creative have so much faith in Monsters Unleashed rather than Stardust? Oh wait, that's right. It's because it's based on something popular, and Stardust isn't. Perhaps the story is uninspired or something. Anyways, to make this better, I would add pictures of the popular Celestian comic writers inside the queue, or outside the queue, along with the freezer featuring animated Visionaries who will tell you about his creation and story for the ride. Next, a ride featuring Maya and Captain Cacao would be sweet, no pun intended. This ride could be like the Peter Pan ride to the 8th Magic Kingdom at Walt Disney World, or the one in Fantasy Springs, at Tokyo Disney City. It can have Maya and Captain Cacao on the moon ship as enemy characters exploring mysterious new sweet-related planets throughout the galaxies. You also get to be along coming for a ride on some other ship. Lastly, for Atlantic, there should not only be a meet and greet, but also some sort of onion movie ride featuring Captain Fernando, a Celestial Park original character that brings the food he finds from Celestial to Florida to the Atlantic restaurant. There you have it. Many license for professional entertainment, or just better. As a story visuals, mostly, hope that everything was really and hopefully, the original will be better. team up, you know? So, what do you think about it, viewers?